All right, welcome. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're not digging into some massive report or a bunch of complex data. Nope. Instead, we're going to deconstruct just one single sentence. But this sentence, it holds the key to how millions of people have to prove they can actually survive in the real world. So, yeah, let's dive right in.
So here it is. That's the whole thing, the entire prompt. This comes from the guidelines for building a major English proficiency test. And, at first glance, it seems super simple, right? Almost kind of boring. But trust me, hidden inside this one little instruction is a really powerful philosophy about what language is actually for.
Because really, that's what this all comes down to survival. This isn't some abstract academic question. I mean, for the person who's actually taking this test, the stakes could not be higher. This is a direct assessment of their ability to function, to live, to survive. So let's really break this thing down. Okay, first up, the one sentence test. We're going to unpack this simple prompt. Think of the sentence as a blueprint. I mean, it's literally the foundation for a test that determines people's futures. So our goal here is to figure out what it's really measuring, beyond just the words themselves. Okay, so the very first thing to notice is what's missing, right? There's absolutely no mention of university lectures or, I don't know, historical debates or complex scientific articles. The prompt is deliberately, very deliberately, steering clear of anything that sounds like a classroom. Instead, it's aimed squarely at this one simple idea. Can you navigate life on your own? Can you handle the essential everyday stuff that really defines independence? That right there is the core question. All right, section 2, defining daily living. This is all about the philosophy behind the test. And this brings us to the real guiding principle here. It's an approach called English for daily living. And honestly, it completely changes how we think about what fluency even means. In this comparison, this really gets to the heart of it. On one hand, you have academic English, right? Essays, lectures, abstract theories. But on the other, you've got daily living English, making appointments, paying bills, dealing with customer service, solving real, practical problems. It's basically the difference between, say, discussing economic theory and actually understanding your phone bill. And look, both can be complex, for sure, but only one of them is absolutely essential for day-to-day survival. So the key takeaway here is this concept called functional competence. That's what the test is measuring. It's not about how many words you know from a dictionary. It's about whether you can use the words you do have to get something done. Can you book that appointment? Can you dispute a charge on your credit card? Can you understand what a contract is actually telling you? Okay, part 3, scenarios, the real-world test. Let's break down these 4 key areas. So let's look at those 4 scenarios from the prompt: shopping, renting a house, banking, and daily services. Now, you might be asking, why those 4? Well, it's because each one is like a perfectly chosen stress test for a very specific set of real-world language skills. First up is shopping. And yeah, it sounds simple, doesn't it? But really think about it for a second. You have to understand all this transactional language, percentages off, buy one, get one, final sale. You've got to understand the conditions. A simple mistake here, it could cost you actual money. Then we have renting a house, which, wow, that raises the stakes dramatically. This is not just about understanding a few words. We're talking about navigating the legal language in a lease, asking really critical questions about utilities, maybe even trying to persuade a landlord. This is seriously high-stakes communication. Okay, next up is banking. This tests something completely different, pure precision. The language here is super formal, it's procedural. Think about it. Enter your PIN, confirm the transfer amount. There is zero room for error, no ambiguity. You have to follow the instructions perfectly and listen carefully for that confirmation. And finally, we have daily services. Now, this is kind of a catch-all category for all of life's other essential interactions, right? Like calling a plumber to try and describe a leak, or making a doctor's appointment and explaining your symptoms. This is all about that explanatory, problem-solving kind of language. So when you lay it all out like this, you start to see it, don't you? These 4 scenarios are not random at all. They're a carefully designed matrix to test all these different types of language: transactional, persuasive, procedural, and explanatory. Put them all together, and you get a pretty comprehensive picture of a person's ability to actually function in a society. Okay, section 4, listening between the lines. These are the skills hidden inside the conversation. But it actually goes even deeper than that. See, the test isn't just about understanding the dictionary definition of the words. It's about the much more subtle listening skills you need to truly get what's going on in a real-life conversation.
And there's kind of this hierarchy to it. So at the most basic level, you have to catch the key details, right? The appointment time, the address, the price. Simple facts. Then one level up, you need to understand the gist of it all. Like, is this person complaining or are they just asking a question? But the highest level, and this is the most important one, is inferring intent. Is that customer service agent actually trying to help you, or are they just reading from a script? Figuring that out is a critical survival skill.
Because the test isn't just about what is said, but how it's said. The point is, things like tone, subtext, context, they're every bit as important as vocabulary. Real comprehension means understanding the unspoken stuff in a conversation. And that's exactly what these real-world scenarios are designed to test.
All right, our final section, more than a test, why this approach matters. So why did we just spend all this time picking apart one sentence from a test manual? Because the philosophy behind it has huge, profound implications for anyone who's trying to build a new life somewhere.
Think about it. For so many people, a test like this is not some casual academic exercise. It's a single gate. It's the one chance they might have to get a visa, or a job, or get into a school. It's that one moment where their entire ability to manage daily life is put on the line, and that single judgment can change absolutely everything.
And that, really, brings us to the ultimate takeaway from all of this. The design of this test teaches us a really powerful lesson about what it even means to be fluent. It's not about having a perfect accent. It's not about having some massive vocabulary. It's about participation. It's about being able to take part in the life of your community, to go shopping, to use a bank, to rent a home, simply to live. So that leaves us with one final question to think about. Forget all the formal tests for a second. In your own day-to-day life, what's an everyday conversation that you think is the ultimate language test? Is it trying to order a ridiculously complicated coffee? Or maybe dealing with tech support over the phone? Or is it something else entirely? Whatever your answer is, it probably reveals a lot about what you value in communication, and maybe even in life itself.